Hello there, Scrap and Ames fans. How are we all today? I'm here today to share with you a Project Life spread of my son and his many love for many animals, I guess. Today I'm using what you can see is some leftover pieces of my, June then, Kitaholic kits, which had the Cocoa Vanilla Studio U Rock collection. So what you saw there is some pattern papers that I had left in my kit, so I'm sort of killing this kit with this video, or with this layout. Yeah, so, and then I just chuck bits and pieces along the way. So I'm using what is it? The Becky Higgins Design E pocket pages. So it's the 4 sort of square ones, large square pockets. Alright, so just going through, and I don't think I'll make you sit through all of these measuring it out. So I'm just measuring out my papers to cut them to size, to obviously map my photos on. Now to tell you what the size was, I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, so I have 3 photos in this layout, or in this spread, and then one pocket will be used as my title card pocket. So as I said, I don't make you sit through this. I do edit this bit out from here on, but you can just get the general idea of what I'm doing there is cutting these out. Now, I did leave this one in because this one was a bit tricky, this pocket. Now, once I'd measured up the 3 other papers, I then was left with some bits and pieces, basically. So as you can see, I fuss around a little bit as to how am I going to make this work. And what I actually do, which you'll see me do shortly, is I actually get a piece of white, just normal white cardstock, cut it to the square dimensions there, and then I end up adhering these 2 pieces that you can see, so this wood grain look and that sort of triangle coloured one that you can see underneath, to that cardstock, the white cardstock, to make my own individual card, I guess. I wanted to use all these pieces. I didn't want to pull in any other pieces of cardstock or pattern paper or anything like that. I was determined that I was going to not really have much left for this kit. Now this is probably the first time in the, 12 months maybe, I'll be close to, of getting the Kitaholic kits that I've actually killed a kit. There's always heaps in them, I find, and you can always get so many layouts out of them, but I just never seem to kill them. So this is the first time really that I've truly killed the embellishments, you know, the wood veneer, the printables, and the paper. So I was pretty happy with that, actually. Money well spent, I think. So yeah, so what you can see here is that's that white cardstock I was telling you about, and then I just adhere them with some double-sided tape to there. Actually, I thought that was pretty clever, actually, but, you know, whatever. There we go, just measuring them all up, making sure it all fits. So whilst I'm doing that, I will see how is everyone doing. How are we liking the YouTube videos, the blog posts, and all those jazz? Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you would like to see me give it a, do, or suggestions or anything like that. And again, if you haven't seen my exciting news, was that I was accepted as a design team member for Scrapping Clearly, the online, the Australian scrapbook shop. So you can find me doing some projects over on their blog and now YouTube channel as well. So head over to the Scrapping Clearly blog and check it all out by all means. And my projects that I'll be doing each month have items from the shop, so you'll be able to see them in action. Alright, so I must admit, in doing these cards, whilst it looks like a fairly easy, straightforward layout, getting the right embellishments happening was a bit tricky, and I'm not really sure why. Yeah, I really don't know. Anyway, so I fussed around with this title card a little bit. As you can see, I do try a couple of the paper bags, glassine bags, whatever you call them. as you can see there. Yeah, I wanted to use this piece of arrowed paper, but I thought that it sort of didn't pop up off the back, the dark blue background piece enough. So yeah, so I do, as you can see, yeah, see there it is there. I just felt it was missing something. And I did try around with that yellow frame that you see off to the right. And I do actually try using that on a couple of the, or most of the pockets, but it just didn't work. Anyway, so I choose the silver doily I have here to use as my background to make my title card. Yeah, it just breaks up that blue a little bit, I think. It worked, it did work really well. And then I was going to use the black thickers here that you see. So yeah, it just sort of just all meshed into one a little bit too much. So yeah. And again, I don't make you sit and watch me spell out the title. And there it is. Thinking, trying to figure out what I want to put where. Oh, was it the frame? No, and this, that like, what do you call it? Like photo reel thing. End up popping all the little pieces off out the side of it because there was like little holes. And then I don't end up using it, and I haven't used it. So there might have been a couple of, you know, one or two of the ephemera pieces left, but for the most part, it's all been used. The kit's all been used. Now pop this little unique tag thing up on some double-sided foam tape here, which is what you can see me playing with. It just came from a Kaiser Craft, and I think it's an older collection of theirs. I can't remember what it was called, actually. Don't know. If you want to know what it is, let me know, and I will let you know. I will rummage around and find the packaging for it, and let you know. So adding some 2 wood veneer little triangle pieces there, and then that title card is done. And now I'm moving on to each of these photos. Now I do come in with a few things that, as I said, were not part of the kit. That unique tag thing and the title card was one of them. These gold frames are Amy Tan little frames, like metallic-y kind of looking frames. And they came in a kit a few months back, and I've not really touched them. I just haven't been able to use them. I'm not sure why. Frames are not something I generally seem to be able to use. I don't know why. It just seems to be the case. But I am trying to at times make a bit more of a thought around adding them. So I've seen some people use them this way that it is not necessarily in that sort of typical frame around a photo kind of thing. So I thought I'd give it a go, and I actually really like how it turned out. In fact, I use it twice. The ID twice. And that white and blue little tag piece you can see is just part of the printables that were left for the kit in June. I sort of got to a point, I think, where I sort of fluffed around or fussed around a bit that I didn't, I sort of thought, right, I just need to commit to start sticking things down or I'm never going to get it done. So that's what I did. So, and just journaling there, and yeah, done. See, you didn't have to see that either. Now that's a little DIY shop goldy coloured sticker, which I love them. I'm hoarding this last little bit. And it just said, hey there. So my son is actually, so to explain the photo, my son is sitting in our indoor, well, what was until we expanded our bunny collection, is sitting in one of the original indoor bunny setups we had when we only had 2 buns, and now we have 4. Yes, so he was in there bonding with them, the big goose that he is. He actually climbed through the door as well. I thought he was a rabbit. I remember this night. It's quite the classic, so I had to obviously scrapbook that. And now this picture here, I do fuss around with that tag. Again, it was a leftover from one of the previous kits. I can't remember if this is a Gather or Chasing Dreams little cut apart sheet, but yeah, it's one of those Maggie Holmes ones. So I just popped that in just to add a bit of something extra in the background, I guess. Now this is a picture of my son holding a snake. His dad is a big reptile fanatic, and so is my son. Well, getting there anyway. So yeah, so he'd had a photo for me. Oh, here's this pesky frame. I actually don't think, looking at the layout now, I actually end up using it. So like, I tried, it just wasn't working for me. And this little black and white piece that you see there was actually like a piece that was part of the printables. I'd already cut sections off it already. It was a big strip. Yeah. So I end up journaling a little sort of round oval sort of tag at the top of the picture that you can see his picture there. And it just, yeah, explains what's happening in the photo. And then I just add these pieces, which again is that original that I'm sticking down now is again part of that same Kaiser Craft die cut pack. I want to say it's Boys Rule, but I don't think it is. Off the Wall, I think it's called, actually. It's something different. Yeah, it might be that. And that little blue circle says, "This is me," because this is my son. As in with all the reptiles and the animals. And now this is just my son with my auntie and her husband's one of their dogs. This guy is an old, I think he's like 14-year-old Labrador. He was rescued by, or found by the RSPCA, and then rescued and adopted by my aunt and her husband. They have 3 other, is it King Charles Cocker Spaniels? No, that doesn't sound right. Can never remember what they are. Anyway, they have 3 other dogs as well. So, yeah. They love their puppies. But yeah, my son took really quickly to Marley, who's the dog's name. And yeah, he's just part of our family. And as you can see here, I end up using another one of those gold Amy Tan frames to put behind the photo and have popping out, and it says "Let's Go." The other one at the top said "My Fave." And then I actually framed the photo with a one of those sort of beige colour frames. So yes, so I not only used one, but I ended up using 3 frames, all up in different ways on this layout, or on this spread. I was very happy with that, because they seem to sit in my stash. These have been sitting in my stash forever. Again, it was another kit thing. I actually have this feeling that it came in the September kits, maybe? That's how old they are. As in, like, I'm pretty certain they were from sometime last year. So just popping all of that down. And this Boys Will Be Boys is another one from that Kaiser Crafts collection I just told. Sorry, didn't say collection, but die cut pack. Now using double-sided foam to just pop that up a bit off the background. Yep, and then yeah, I had this star, another one of those gold DIY shop stickers, phrase stickers, and then I think that's done for this actually. As I said, it is actually pretty straightforward layout, or spread I should say. The purpose was to kill the kit. I wanted to make sure I used up all of the papers. I do really love this collection from Coco Vanilla Studio, the You Rock collection. So yeah, wanted to use it up. Alright, some close-ups here. Please let me know that you liked the video by giving me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already. And any questions, just leave them in the comments, and see you soon. Bye guys. Bye.